remember how I do this one. Da-da-da.
You usually do it with your voice.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes. Only a few times. Sometimes I do it with the gloriousness of my existence. Oh yeah, right. I haven't turned on my earbud. There we go. Shut up, phone. Go to my earbud. Thank you. There we go. Okay, that should be good. That's on. I don't care about reward drops. Screw you. Shut up. That should be good. Have the link tree. Fabulous. Okay. Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. Today, our storyteller is Corin, and we shall be continuing the tale of Jumpchain RWBY Terminal Season. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. I know it's been a little bit since we've come back to this. Just a wee little bit. 9 weeks, I think. So, we will see how the night flies. And of course, that's still not working. That's weird. Oh well. I'll send Spiri a message about that at some point. Try to figure that shit out. There's a bot that I have on the Discord that should be working for other Discords, but it's not, and I don't know why. I feel like I'm missing something, but oh well. So, Corn, I'll drop the floor over to you. Thunk.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to RWBY, more specifically to the Forests of Strav, also known as the Southern Vales. Last time, I believe that y'all had some interesting interactions with a couple of Grimm. Particularly notable was the Doppelganger, fighting against that as it took the shape of Lynn took the shape of Hunter and took some powerful shots at Lynn, dealing some damage there, and Hunter taking more than a bit of damage himself. After that, successfully taking out the enemy and Katie realizing that the goose has gone missing somewhere in the forest, there was some chatting about backstories between Katie and Jackalope, while Lynn and Hunter rested in order to get some of their health back, resulting in an incursion from a dream Grimm. The exact name, nobody really knows. But with Lynn, Katie, and Hunter all going inside, the Grimm revealed that it wanted to eat some memories. It drank some of them. Hunter forgot some little thing about hunting. Lynn lost a day's worth of memories at a circus with a close friend. And Katie, having lost the role, lost all of her memories of her first friend in the Foundation, a MTF soldier named Beth. Apparently, she hated being called Bethany. But you also learned how to create wards to prevent it from returning before everyone woke up, still within the forests, and ready to move on.
Cool.
Anyone have any questions before we get into the meat of it?
Not so far.
All
Not
right.
that I can think of.
In that case, everyone is up, about, and ready. Katie, your current sense of the area using Abyssal Cuties, as mentioned, is a bit compromised. It's having trouble detecting the area around you, but you could attempt to make a roll despite that in order to try and navigate your way out of the area. Similarly, anyone can make a sense roll as well. I would just recommend Katie's because I believe her supernatural roll is better than her sense roll.
Yeah, no, my sense roll is 0.
Yep. You're going to want to use your supernatural abilities then.
Yes.
My sense is
Abyssal-
also 0.
Unfortunately, you do not have magical Grimm senses.
Fair.
Let me try to remember. Was it?
So normally you would roll supernatural +1 on any rolls for your semblance, but because there's interference going on right now, that +1 is canceled out.
Okay, yeah. So that's just 4 dice, I think.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
That is a critical success.
Oh, flip.
Good job.
Okay. Is anyone else rolling for sense?
Oh, I'll join the party.
I think if I roll, I have to get 6, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, I will give it a shot.
Oh, what the 44?
Right.
Oh,
Not quite the right dice there, Lynn.
46. Oh,
Hunter came close, but not quite. And with a -1, Lynn, your wounds still hurt. Bad. Normally, the supernatural healing of your aura would be able to help out a lot, but as mentioned, healing only takes place when you're asleep now, and you did not sleep nearly long enough to make up for all of the damage that you ended up accruing. Notably, you have 22 points of health right now out of 30. With your wounds, you can't really focus on the area as much as you would like to be able to. Now, Katie, on the other hand, having rolled a critical success, you are pushing your sensation out, trying to detect the nearby area utilizing your abyssal cuties, and it ends up working fairly well. You can detect a lot of the nearby enemies, but you can also feel something pushing against the back of your head, undoubtedly the presence of the forest itself.
Ah, Mr. Forrest! Forgot about that guy.
You can feel the you can feel the sound of wind rushing through leaves across your entire body all at once as you continue to feel the area around you. There are most certainly Grimm nearby, of all sorts of different types. You can't make out the exact details on what they are, but there is certainly a bunch of them that are keeping an eye on the area, trying to look for potential prey. But at the same time, y'all rested until around daytime. Or at least you assume it's day. There's some light filtering through the thick leaves of the brush, but it's impossible to tell for certain. The light is a bit too faint for that. But looking like it's nighttime, or looking like it's daytime, it seems like a lot of the Grimm are a lot more hesitant to go around and do things than they were before during the night. It might be a good idea to try to press forward and move throughout the day.
All right, guys. According to Abyssal Cuties, this place is dangerous.
No.
I'm truly shocked.
Dear
Yeah.
God.
Lene just looks at her with this like so sad and depressed kind of look. Like, oh really? Kind of like a dog just left out in the rain. It's like,
But on the upside, it is slightly less dangerous than it was at nighttime.
oh, small mercies.
I think all that calling led to nothing.
Oh.
Well,
Thanks very much for holding them off.
I mean, yeah, we're in a stick for it. It probably kept you alive a little longer, even if I was mauled by something much bigger than I was expecting.
Oh. Well,
Probably. That or you would have been crushed by the weight of the logs.
oh, all right.
Like a weighted blanket.
Oh.
Except deadly. And wooden.
Like a weighted blanket.
What kind of weighted blankets have you dealt with?
The best kind.
Gotcha. Should we try to find our guide?
Yeah.
Honey?
So we're not just
Oh.
running in circles?
Well, I mean, not sure where we would find Miss Honey, but I assume that if we press forward towards the direction we were heading, we'll get there eventually.
Now, that does raise a good question. What direction were you heading?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Considering
Treat
I
me like a
got
soldier boy.
teleported, I'm assuming I have absolutely no idea.
Unfortunately, all of your traditional methods of determining your location, Hunter, are kind of not really trustworthy here. Oftentimes, it would be using the position of the sun in order to determine whether or not you're heading east or north, or it would be keeping track of the breaking in the brush and areas that you've cut through. But the area around you, the wood itself, seems to repair itself after a short period of time, covering your previous tracks.
With my senses, am I able to tell which way like the sun is moving to see which way we would have gone originally?
Yeah, go ahead and make a sense roll on that.
Oh damn.
That's a critical success.
I see the sun,
Ooh.
guys.
Hot
Y'all are
diggity
off to a real
damn.
good start this time around.
Ooh.
With a critical success, you're able to watch as the light filters through the leaves, casting very small. It doesn't really cast shadows. It's just that most of the time when the light comes through, it just comes in through a thin beam. But by looking at where the beam is angled towards, and by taking into account the fact that it must be early in the morning, you're able to determine from there which direction is east, the rising sun, and therefore which direction all of the cardinal directions are coming from. As for whether or not you can remember the direction that well, no, it wouldn't be too hard. You're heading into the Southern Vales, so you came from the north. So you do now know which direction you came in from, which direction you were kind of walking towards, and how to navigate, at least for the remainder of this day.
Oh, nice. She'll just point up and say, "Looks like it's this way."
Okay. And you're pointing to go deeper into the woods?
Yep, yep.
Okay. Who would like to lead the party?
I mean, Jackalope's always been the vanguard up to this point, so continuing Jackalope being the vanguard.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hunter will probably take the lead in that case.
Vanguard is the person in front, right?
Oh, sorry. In that
Or-
case, he'll take the back.
Yeah, vanguard's always in front.
Yeah.
So that means
the
that
caboose in the back.
The caboose.
The caboose.
Hunter in the back, the my brain broke. Jack in the front, and Katie and Lynn in the middle. As you're
Mhm.
advancing forward through the forest, it's definitely a lot quieter than it was during the night. Jack, of all people, notices this. A lot of them seem to be a bit more hesitant in the area around you. Part of that may be this daytime. Part of that might be the fact that you did go on a bit of a spree last night. Between the very clear vision of Lynn, as well as the high rolls from Katie on Abyssal Cuties, you are able to more or less cut your way through a considerable amount of distance before you do start feeling something odd. Katie, you can sense that there is definitely some sort of grim presence in the nearby area, and rather than being like the others that were just hanging around, this one has been following you a bit. Meanwhile, Lynn, you're able to note that with your supernatural senses, there seemed to be some sort of abnormal tremor through the air, some sort of vibration that's being carried along in a way that is not normal.
Oh, can I try to cancel it or distort it with like the gravity, like something around us or something?
Unfortunately, sound doesn't have doesn't have enough mass to be really affected by gravity. Rather, it would be affected by things like density, which in your case, rather than creating hyperdense areas, you're creating areas of a couple of Gs. So you can't nullify vibrational waves in the air.
Oh. So maybe Hunter in the light stuff?
Since they are solid constructs, any sort of vibration would inherently bounce off of them if you wanted to create them.
I let Hunter know, say, hey, looks like there's something going on in the air around here. I don't know if you want to take a stab at it since I can't use my gravity.
I can give
Or
it a
anyone else?
shot, but
Oh.
my specialization is in condensing light, so we can see. So I'll roll
Like a dome?
supernatural, I think. And
Yep,
see
you would roll
kind of-
supernatural and add one additional dice for your semblance because you've developed a high level of skill with it over the course of the campaign.
Okay. Is that just 3d6 or is that 2d6 plus 1d6?
If you have a base level of 2, I would recommend it would be 2d6 plus 1d6 so that it clearly delineates which one is the bonus dice.
Oh, nice.
You
Did
don't
not
include
roll
that second
properly,
R. Go
but
ahead and just
alright.
roll an additional 1d6.
I gotta fix that one.
Come on, no ones. Oh my gosh. High
That's
rollers,
two.
guys.
All
Yep,
right.
that is 2 degrees of success. You are able to create a solid barrier. What shape are you making this barrier of light?
I would probably make the barrier probably a diamond shape. It's a barrier.
Okay, making the diamond shape between you and the source of the vibrations in the
You know
if
direction
it's-
that Lynn points.
if it's vibrations, you could make it in the sound. Like how in your room you have those soundboards that cancels out sound,
Hmm.
and they look kind of like spiky stuff on the wall.
Ah.
I think the issue there is creating complex shapes with so many facets might be difficult, considering the fact that he's mostly been dealing with single facet constructs
That's
up to date. He's totally up to him if he wants to make that attempt, but no guarantees that 2 degrees of success is enough to be able to completely develop that ability in one shot. I make no promises.
I will probably ignore that for now. Just focus on keeping it contained. Is everything also a gun?
Yeah.
Yes. We have very many guns.
So you're creating a diamond in between you and the source of the vibrations?
Yeah.
Okay. Lynn is able to tell that, yes, the vibrations are, in fact, bouncing off of the diamond. It still continues to spread around. It functions similar to sound waves in the way that it moves, but it's weaker before it reaches you at this, thanks to the interference of that.
It's weaker now. Is there a way to rebound it, or I'm not sure how so cautious we should be about these wavelengths, but considering we're kind of in an interesting place.
It probably would be a
If
bit
not-
dangerous, but
Just letting you know.
well, let's keep moving, see how far we can get today.
All right. Don't mind me.
I will mind you, thank you. Dice roll behind the GM screen. Dice roll terror.
Maliciously.
Mhm.
just rolling there, menacingly. But yeah, you can continue moving along. You just kind of continue. Are you able to create moving light constructs, or have you just been creating them stationary each time?
I believe I've been making a few movement ones. I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, I think that I would say that considering you rolled high enough to succeed already, it would be trivially easy for you to recreate it. So regardless of which one it is, you are
Mhm.
still able to continue utilizing the diamond as a protective thing from a lot of the vibrational waves.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely be trying to move it.
As you all continue progressing along, Katie, something feels odd now.
Mhm.
So you could sense that something was in the area. You're going to make another roll for me, but you're going to have the full roll. Don't take a penalty on this.
Okay. That's 4 plus 1, 2?
1.
Forget. 1, yes. Apologies. It's been a while since I've properly rolled Abyssal Cuties.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, your bonus dice replaces your
Wow.
lowest roll. That's 1 degree of success.
Nice. Good job.
There is at least another one in the area nearby.
Hmm.
That weird sensation you had of something following you, there's something else now.
We still got a stalker, you guys.
Set up a trap
Oh,
as we
is
walk.
it also doing the vibrations?
You can't detect more vibrations in the air right now.
Oh.
Which is a weirdly specific way to phrase it, I know, but that is the case.
Could we try to? Did you guys want to try to direct the vibrations from one to the other? I don't know if it's trying to harm us or something.
It could be that stalker thing we dealt with when we were with Honey.
Oh, yeah.
It might be advantageous to set up another trap as we're walking. Just so it'll screw off for a little while. Kind of like what happened on the first day we were here.
Yeah.
If you'd like
How did
to
it
make
do?
a trap, then tell me what sort of trap you're making, and I'll determine what kind of roll I need from you.
Hmm. Hmm. Probably just a simplified stinking, not a bear trap, but just a simplified stick trap to catch its leg. So when it steps in a certain area, its legs will get grabbed if it has them.
Okay. That makes sense. If you could give me a dexterity check, and Hunter, will you be
Mhm.
assisting him in the creation of it?
Yeah.
Then roll an additional bonus dice.
Okay, rolling 5. Wow.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, bonus dice removes your lowest dice. So that does mean
Jesus.
that's 2 and then 1. So that's -1. That's not -2. But -1. You set up the trap. The two of you work on it a fair bit. But as you go along, Lynn, you notice there's never the sound of a trap going off.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think we've gone past it at this point. I don't think it's set off.
Gotcha. Keep walking.
Is the
Mhm.
vibrations doing anything, or?
Um, yes, in that you can tell that there's now at least an additional source. The sound is coming from multiple areas and is starting to get stronger. The vib. 1 second, that was a really weird knocking sound. Give me 1 moment.
Okay. Slight concern.
Da,
Mm.
da, 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 da.
Feel like I should be very concerned.
Yeah, I feel like a horror movie just started.
Oh, no.
To be fair, it's probably just like something falling on the roof or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's your
Hopefully.
favorite horror movie?
Weirdly enough, I don't think I have a favorite horror movie.
Mm.
I haven't seen many. Does Five Nights at Freddy's count?
Oh, bro, I love that movie. You watched the movie?
Five Nights
Yeah,
at Freddy's.
I watched that like 2 times. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
I think we only
The
saw it once. I still need to rewatch it because I was only
I saw it for
half
myself.
focused.
Yeah,
Nice.
half focusing. I had to like get Yuki in to watch it too, so I was like, oh, I'll watch it 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I have ever watched horror oriented are slashers, purely for the
Oh man.
entertainment factor.
Oh yeah, yoy. You can handle slashers. It's impressive.
Howdy. Sorry about that. It sounded like someone was knocking on the glass of my window.
Oh.
So no one seemed to be there, but it
Oh.
caught me right the hell off guard.
Fair,
Oh, well,
fair.
goodness.
But as I was saying, you can tell that there are multiple sound signatures now coming through. The vibrations are coming through a bit more strongly. Feel free to make any assumptions you like about why, but it does seem that it is getting stronger.
All right.
I'll tell Hunter about. Looks like they're coming from 2 different sources now. Lene went to university. She probably knows arithmetic and all that other geometry. Would she be able to like know the angles and stuff of and so like how to use like maybe help Hunter block the abilities or redirect them away from them?
The biggest trouble there is that vibrations do bounce, and you're in an area where there's a lot of things to bounce off of, where the vibrations are not just coming from one specific angle coming straight at you, because whenever it comes from one angle, it'll bounce off something, and as it spreads, it becomes more or less impossible to stop in its entirety. But you can dampen the signal quite a bit just by surrounding yourself with any sort of thing that dampens sound, particularly solid objects that cause sound to be reflected off of them. Or if you want to deaden and dampen sound, then you'd need something with a bunch of folds to be able to kind of capture that sound as it bounces between them and expends its energy.
Hmm. Um,
Alternatively, you can make a bigger sound. Larger sounds, like when because of the way that the waves have energy, if a weak sound ends up going towards a strong sound, the vibrational force is just a bit one-sided. Can't hear anything. You can't hear anyone around you talking if the music is blaring loud enough to drown them out.
But is the vibration still there, or does it it gets consumed?
With a large sound, it would become consumed, or at the very least, heavily distorted.
Guys, do you guys want to make a lot of sound or music or something on the walkie-talkies, or
Katie
should we
looks
try
at
to
you.
redirect it?
Katie slowly turns to look at you when she pulls out her gun. This is the moment I've always been waiting for.
Deep concern.
Play me the songs of your people, oh gremlin of chaos.
Will do. She's gonna pull out her guns, but she's also. Does she still have grenades on her?
Yes, 100%. You
Yeah.
brought quite the supply.
She's just gonna toss everything that makes loud noises and shoot everything that makes loud noises in no discernible order of particular.
I'm not
Okay.
being stealthy
Order.
anymore.
Then I would say roll a dexterity just to avoid hitting anybody with the explosions.
I'm gonna watch her to help out.
Okie doke. Well, you've got
Oh,
assistance in making sure that you don't do it. That's a degree of success. If you could add a bonus dice because you're getting help.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's still a degree of success.
Hey,
None of your
welcome to the
friends
library.
get blown up.
Yay!
It's a bit close at times. Jack, it reminds you uncomfortably large amounts of shelling operations when they were hitting the areas near you, but the delighted cackles of Katie kind of offset that a fair bit, as she's clearly enjoying herself and having fun, which is not traditionally part of a shelling bombardment.
To be fair, he's gonna start humming along, making his own tune from the random explosions.
Yeah, well, the explosions fortunately make enough of a marching tune that you're able to go through. Lynn, you cannot pick up a single sound from the vibrations in the area as long as this is going off. It's completely subsumed. There's no way that the vibrations are reaching you. They are completely overpowered.
She puts her hands over her ears with explosions. I think that we solved it.
Oh, right, and roll a sense for me real quick, Lynn.
Oops, wait, what? There we go.
That is a 0. You narrowly avoid it. If you had rolled a negative in those, you would have taken sonic damage from your super-powered hearing and all these explosions, but a 0 still passes on that one. You take no damage.
Oh.
You just have a nasty headache.
She's like, oh.
How long am I supposed to do this for? Pew 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 pew. I can go on forever if you want me to. Pew 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 pew.
We do have some of us have unlimited ammo, don't we? Or at least it
Not
restocks
unlimited
once a day.
grenades.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's true.
the dust refills every morning. However, keep in mind that it refills by sending the refills to your cosmic warehouse that you do not have access to while you're in here. So for
Right.
once, you do not have infinite ammo.
Katie is not thinking about this.
No, she is not.
I want to pull out the scrolls. Do they have music functions or anything, or they can just play static from radios?
So they absolutely do have a music function. I don't believe that you have any music saved on yours.
Oh, who has music on their scrolls? Yellow.
I have the entire B movie. Does that count?
What's the B movie?
Does Jack still have the one that he stole?
Yeah.
Then yes, you have access to music.
Oh my god.
You stole this man. You jacked this man's tunes.
That's
To
so
be fair, we
messed up.
never determined if it broke when he blew up his arm. So, in all likelihood, he still has it.
For comedy reasons, I'm just going to say yes, you do have access to this person's collected music library.
I have to know.
I'm just gonna hand it over to them for them to pull whatever randomness they decide to pull from it.
Let's turn it on and put on full volume.
Yeah, you absolutely can do that. And Katie, looking over the list, you don't recognize very many of these names. But the moment that you click the first track, it all makes sense. He does indeed like jazz. It's all jazz.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna attempt to synchronize the beat of the jazz to my explosions.
Okay.
I'm gonna sing
Well,
along to it, despite the
not
fact that I
sure how
don't know
you're.
it.
Let's go for it. Yeah, you are singing along to the saxophone and grenades. And after a few more minutes of this, you go through about 2 tracks and you realize your grenade supply is running a little low.
Oh, hi guys! I'm starting to run out of grenades. Do we need those or anything?
Probably. Let's see how we do with just the music.
Sure.
Yeah. You blare out the music, just pretty much maximum volume, blaring it out. Little painful for the ears, but on the upside, the guy does have good taste in jazz at least. And you're pretty sure you heard some ska adjacent music in there too. And after a little while, the you don't make it to the end of the tracks, but it hits a little lull in one of them, and you realize the vibrations are not here anymore.
Oh.
Even inside of the lull, seems like they're not making any of those vibrations anymore. Katie, because you were significantly distracted from your abyssal cuties with the power of jazz and firearms, I'm gonna have to ask you to roll an additional abyssal cuties if you'd like to reactivate your focus. But yeah, from the seams of things, Lynn, it seems like at the very least, if it's still there, you must have partially deafened yourself and can't hear it anymore. But you're fairly confident it's not still there. That's a critical success. Again.
Oh,
wow.
nice. Oh my gosh.
I'm
We're
so
all
good
know
at
we're
video
using it all
games.
up.
Yeah, well, you can, Katie, you can sense that the multiple signatures that you're detecting completely gone. Seems like they've got spooked off by the sheer amount of sound.
I don't think they like the jazz.
I was gonna say the same.
But it was soothing and reliable. The explosions made it even better.
Yeah, freeform jazz. It's wild, it's chaotic, but it's got its place. It's got its place.
Should we just keep it on, but at the lowest setting?
Well, Katie, while those things are gone, there are more in the general vicinity. Not more of the same creature, but other creatures seem to be interested in the sound you're making.
Well, I mean, there are other peopleses in the area, so it kind of depends on whether we think the sound would work for us or against us when it comes to that.
Hmm.
I mean,
Having a good time versus attracting more attention. Or I guess
Well,
that's
I
actually the
mean-
same thing.
Time.
You don't want to stop at all.
I mean, to be fair, you being able to hear would be advantageous over you not being able to hear.
This is true.
Oh, so
Alright.
you start hearing the vibrations again? Or seeing them with you, at least? I think that's how you work. And we'll turn it back on, but otherwise, probably best to keep it off.
Well, it was nice while it lasted.
As you turn off the sound, there's some rustling nearby that you can hear. Movements of the leaves. Katie, you don't sense a Grim nearby. Well, not that close. Lynn, if you'd like to, everyone, whoever would like to roll sense, they absolutely can.
We shall
do
see
it.
if it'll work.
Is it
I'll
humans?
take it.
Oh.
Okay. Lynn, that's a -1. Jackalope. And Katie, do you have a sense of 1?
I have a sense of 0.
Everyone failed. Yeah.
Oh.
None of you can identify what's going on with the rustling. There's something nearby. whether it's a danger or not, that's entirely up to you to determine right now. Because whatever it is, it's coming at you.
Take me.
Should I
Hit
blast
me.
it away with some gravity? Oh,
Well,
should we pull it a little faster so that it's like caught off guard? I don't know how big it is.
well, just go for it. Unfortunately, your senses can't quite tell you how large it is, particularly with the -1. With a failed dice, you're all you know for certain is that something is coming at you.
Oh, well, I guess let's be the bigger dog and just pull it towards us. Maybe it'll be intimidated, like, oh, you knew.
Okay. And
I've ready my guns.
Jack, it sounded to me like you're just spreading your arms wide, letting it hit you if it hits you.
Yeah.
Cool. And Katie, you level your guns, and a moment later, something does indeed surge into the area between you as it's pulled forward. Clearly, it's non-resistance, and almost seem to expect something like that, as Honey quickly stabilizes on her feet.
Oh, it's
Miss
Honey!
Honey!
Disappointed Jack noises.
Oh my gosh.
There you are.
Yeah, I figured as soon as I started hearing the explosions, and I think that was Jazz, that I don't think there was anyone else in the area who'd be making that. So I just made a beeline right here.
Oh! Wow, that was a really good idea. If we lose someone, we should just do that.
Where'd you get spirited to, Miss Honey?
Well, firstly, I'm going to tell you right now. Now that the sirens have heard that sound, they can make that sound again. So, maybe don't run, chest first right into it unless it's a completely new sound. I'm telling you right now, they've never heard jazz, so I knew.
They've been enlightened.
That's a word for it. And to answer your question, I went where the wind took me, which was about 8 miles from here.
I didn't know the wind could take people that far.
Sometimes they're a little bit stronger, the gusts. Just don't get caught in one of the will-o-wisps. It's a
That's
bit
supposed to happen?
toasty. Well, it really depends on how you define supposed to happen. So, good job putting out that sound. Really brought me right back to you. Smart play.
Oh, that's good.
Jazz is always a good idea.
I'm more of an R&B person myself.
Well, we're glad to have you back.
Glad to be back. You're, two of you aren't looking as tired as I was expecting. You look beat to shit, but not tired.
We had a long day.
Slept good.
Okay. Slept. Okay.
Yeah.
You, meet anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot something, but I don't know what it was, so it must not have been important.
Oh, chances are it was important.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, yeah, no, that's just what they eat. But yeah, now that we're back together, I can keep leading y'all deeper in.
Have you gotten any sleep or?
Oh no, nope, not a wink. 8 miles is a long trek in here. I don't think I stopped moving since I disappeared. So, it can't have been more than 20 hours by now. 20 hours. That's just a long day.
Well, when the night comes, we can have someone keep watch, and we can put up the little fort that Mr. Dream Demon taught me about.
The wards, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. You must have come across a real kind one that, if it was willing to teach you. Or alternatively, it's because she just points in Katie's general direction.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Not everything around here is as cruel and violent as other things. way I see it, it's Strav's way of saying, let your guard down. Still got to put them all down no matter what you see, though. So, you know how it is. See. Y'all walked through Siren territory a minute ago, but y'all seem fine.
Oh.
Yeah, none of y'all's eyes are glazed over. You must have did something right.
I'm pretty sure it was the explosions and the 3-4 timing, more likely than not.
Yep. Good to know. Drowning them out's a good idea. I usually just stuff my ears with something. They like to make you dream while you're still walking around. You hallucinate. You start seeing shit that ain't there. You start feeling things that aren't there. Last time that I went through and didn't notice it in time, it was there were a lot of bugs underneath my skin.
Ah.
Yeah.
I hate that. It's just so inconvenient.
Mostly fire
every time.
ants. Mostly fire ants.
Oh yeah. Haven't
Biters.
felt that one before.
But yeah, we aren't too far from, I guess you could call it an outpost. It's not the main village here, but it's a spot where we can kind of set up camp a little bit, maybe spot another of the hunters. Well, lowercase h, I should specify. Not like y'all's profession, our profession.
Gotcha.
And at that, she kind of just starts walking forward. Y'all gonna follow her?
Yeah.
Healy along.
Okay.
Yep.
I will point out something that might be weighing on your characters' minds. Is the fact that y'all have already been jumped by one doppelganger.
Oh.
Might be a
Oh.
good idea to, think about that a little bit, because right now I'm thinking that Lynn probably feeling a little paranoid. Jack, I think you're always paranoid.
Yeah, no, his gun's ready.
Yeah, Hunter and Katie, on the other hand, I could see y'all rolling along with this.
He's just going with it.
Katie forgot.
She forgot.
Yeah. No thoughts. Head empty.
You end up marching through a good chunk of it. Nothing seems to go wrong, like at all. Everything's fine. And
Sure.
as you continue going along, you do end up reaching... Outpost is a good word for it. It's just a log cabin. She ends up, knocking on the door a couple of times, waiting just a good 10 seconds between each time. And after the third time, there's no response. She opens it up and steps on in.
Yay!
If anyone's in here, human. Just a human. And she quickly does a 8-point check on the entire room while her hand's on her weapon.
So
Okay.
how often does it just you end up getting jumped at one of these cabins?
Well, if you do it right, never. It's normal. They don't usually like to hide in the cabins. They stay away from human constructs most of the time, because usually that means there's humans there. And if you're not actively on the hunt, you don't want to jump a human. You only want to do it when they're sleeping and shit. So got to be careful about that. But you walk in, you do the whole check on the whole room. There's nothing there. You just got to make sure that you look in all 4 of the corners on the ground. Then you look at all 4 of the corners on the where it junctions up against the roof. Then you look at the seam line on the roof. And you're clear. You got to make sure you look at them all.
That sure is a whole lot of words. Oh, by the way, Miss Honey, I talked to the forest.
Who does that?
You have my condolences.
Forest seemed nice.
Yeah. How did you enjoy interacting with its denizens? I
Oh,
heard
no,
some
no, no, no.
gunshots last night.
No. I talked to the forest. It's part of my semblance. I connected to the forest and I talked to it. And I don't know. It told me about some sort of, the cycle of the hunter, peoples here and the Grim, and it was pretty weird. And I think it watches everybody. It was trippy.
Now, Ms. Katie, I want you to know,
Uh-huh.
I don't look down on your abilities or nothing like that. I was entirely believing you when you said that you talked to the forest itself. Never even in question. The things in the forest are part of the forest. Whatever took shots last night, whether it was you or it, that's part of the forest. You call the
Yeah.
forest nice, you're calling whatever shot nice. Or whatever was shot at nice.
Well, I mean, they're
Now,
just doing their
I'm
job.
seeing some nasty burns on your friend Lynn here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't call that nice.
Sometimes that just do be how it is.
Just because it's true,
Mhm.
don't make it nice.
Mood.
The forest ain't nice. The forest ain't kind. The forest, at times, can be fickle. Forest, at times, can be manipulative. The forest, at times, can be tricky. And worst of all, the forest can sometimes be more honest than anything inside of it. What you got to keep in mind is that no matter what happens, you keep yourself alive, you keep yourself safe, and you keep yourself healthy in that order. I don't believe for a second that this is a nice forest. I know what you said. I believe that's what you believe. But Miss Katie, you are wrong.
Aw.
Now, I've already checked all the corners. Y'all don't got to do it, but I recommend getting into the habit of it. As long as you're within this place, you got to make sure that you look at every corner and you make sure that light has been shined into each and every one of them at least once. Got to clear out the shadows.
You sound like my home.
From what I've heard you talk about, we got some parallels, you and I.
A little bit. A little bit.
You got my condolences for that. I'll tell you now, Strav ain't no place to grow up.
I mean, it could be better. I mean, at least where I'm from, it's just an explosive in the corner. It's not Eldritch Horror. Granted, shrapnel to the face, not a good way to die.
It's not. Neither is the fingers. So make sure you look in all the corners every time that you go into an area that has corners. Now,
Will do.
We are
Question,
not-
what if we made those corners like 5 seconds beforehand?
did you look in it?
Noted. Okay, future reference.
Yeah, you make a corner, you look in the corner. Simple as. Now, we ain't too far from the major village here in Strav. We just call it Strav. We tend not to worry too much about the nomenclature. But there is a bit of an issue there. Being the main village, it's also the main area where we have all our people. What that means the babies and the kids, those folks who are too young to know to control their emotions, for fear of the grim coming at them, as well as the elderly, the folks who are holding on just long enough to know exactly how terrifying the world is, who might also be attracting those grim with that terror. There's a big old ring around the main village, and in that ring we got some of the strongest grim around. Not necessarily the most lethal, but the strongest. We're going to have to venture through that ring if we want to get in there. If we want to be able to get deep enough that we can get closer to the heart.
Is that where the clowns are?
Yeah, we haven't seen any of those yet.
We haven't seen any clowns.
That's a good thing. Why do y'all sound so disappointed by that?
I wanted to
'Cause
see some clowns.
We spent all of their money, and wherever we were beforehand, from their
promised the
clown
guy.
account. And we're not
Yeah, we-
even using it for clowns yet. It's a
We
little
promised the
disappointing.
guy we kill clowns. I mean, I'd like to befriend the clowns, but if that's not an option, sometimes that just do be how it is.
I'm going to ignore the befriend part, and I will say that I definitely understand wanting to keep your promises. I ain't no oath breaker. But, sometimes just be happy that you're not putting yourself in extraordinary and unbelievable danger. If y'all encounter one of them black and white mime folk, I recommend running. Simple as. I genuinely, not a joke, not hyperbole, not a challenge, She specifically looks at Jack when she says that. I do recommend running.
Is that a thing we've done? Have we actually ever done that?
Running?
Yeah.
Kind of. Would you count the guy with the sun running, or did he run before we did?
Technically, you escaped because you got someone to help you escape. So technically, you ran in that instance.
Once.
We did totally didn't you guys we totally beat him up first before I came in with I don't remember his name.
Kind of. I mean, he left, but Hunter was basically near death.
Right.
Lynn was extremely hurt. I was me. Closer to death I get, the more likely I am to start swinging harder. So, fairly close. You walked in, he left, but we were also limping into a portal by that point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just for personal sanity's sake, I'm gonna go with equal terms running, retreating, but not without him retreating as well. Equal retreat. So you said black and white.
Yeah.
Like patterned, because if so, is this just another Oswald situation?
I mean, yeah, it's a pattern sort of thing. I don't know what the hell an Oswald is.
There's more than one Oswald. I hope
Jerk.
there's not.
Okay. Cool.
Fair enough, though. So where are they, by the way?
They're closer to the heart. You're not going to find them in the ring, which is good. Consider them more of a threat than most of the regular folks. This ring has some of the physically strongest, but the clown is not one of the physically strongest. And the closer you get to the heart, the more dangerous some of these creatures are, and sometimes the more esoteric they are. So, it's harder to understand them. And unfortunately, if you start to understand them a little too good, well, once you know them, they know you, sort of deal.
That's basically friendship.
The more you know about them, the more danger that puts you in.
Oh.
If that is your standard for friendship, you need better friends.
Aww.
Pretty sure we all knew she needed better friends.
I mean,
You
yeah,
are
she's
my friends.
She's gonna immediately point at Hunter and be like, "Don't you talk down to down about yourself like that. We don't abide by negative self-speech."
I mean, I mean, yeah, but also points to himself. Sociopath points to Lynn. Hero complex points to Katie. Psychopath points to Hunter. Trophy hunter.
Yeah, see, what I'm hearing is that you are currently engaging in negative self-speech. And as they say, when you speak it, you make it true. You say you're a sociopath. Honestly, that's not inherently a bad thing. Especially in a place like this. You having trouble feeling a lot of those emotions. That means you're having trouble feeling a lot of that negativity that puts so many people in danger. You are looking at it as a negative, but what I'm hearing is that you aren't looking on the bright side. You aren't finding that lining on the cloud. Oh, and psychopath on Katie. You're telling me this girl who finds the brightest sort of things that you can in the darkest sorts of situations, you telling me that does not have some positivity to it? No, that's a good thing. That is a good I don't like all the what she finds sometimes. I'm not a fan. I do not like it. But I am not so stubborn and mule-headed to not recognize that there is some beauty to it. Hero complex, I'm going to be honest, I don't know why you said it like that, like it's a bad thing, like wanting to help people is bad, like putting your life on the line to make sure that other people's lives are lived more fully and healthily and longerly is somehow a bad thing. That just sounds good to me. Like, maybe you're just like a very cynical person who's seen some really dark shit, but sometimes the world do need heroes. And it sucks to be them, but sometimes they are what makes a difference. And as for the trophy hunter, I don't even know where to go from that. That's just a a fact about somebody.
Yeah, he's not exactly the most outspoken individual in our group.
That's not inherently a bad thing, you know?
He is, however, the most effective when he lands a shot. When he lands a shot.
Well, see, right there, you got some positives there. Yeah, you undercut it a little bit by bringing up the negative speech. That's not inherently bad. Sometimes you need to be able to vent that sort of thing. You need to be able to talk about the negativity. But at the same time, gotta remember, positivity is literally life or death here. So, also mental health is a really important thing that, maybe you should keep in mind. You don't seem like the healthiest minded person.
I'm healthy.
Are you?
You are physically healthy. You are, I feel like you are in the brain space not doing so good. Or did you think that I wasn't able to feel that last night?
But you don't know which one of us that was. That could have been Katie.
If that was Katie, I will eat my God's damned hat. You tell me right now, if that was Katie, I'll eat it. She takes her hat off her head and then holds it in between you and her. You tell me right now.
Look, I'm not going to confirm nor deny because eating your hat is not a healthy option.
You know what also isn't a healthy option? Trying to deceive. We both know what happened last night. Now, either it turns out that your trophy hunter here is hiding some deep set emotional baggage that he is not willing to confront, or maybe it's the overly cynical person who thinks that heroes are being a hero is a bad thing that maybe has some tragic backstory.
To be fair, we don't know a lot about Hunter.
And I am willing to accept that if that was Hunter last night, I will tell you straight up that I was wrong, and I apologize for making presumptions based on incomplete information.
Jack's just gonna look at Hunter and just eyebrow raise.
Just like slowly looks at Jack, and he's just like, no.
Shit. Can't even let me have that one.
Look, I don't mean to get all therapist.
At least.
I don't want to get all therapist on you because that ain't my place. But at the end of the day, Strav has only survived the way that it is because we've always looked out for one another. Anyone who hunts the Grim is a hunter, lowercase h. And as long as you are a hunter, you are part of a brotherhood, a sisterhood. And you look out for one another, you take care of one another. And sometimes that means being the hero. Sometimes that means stepping aside, letting someone else be a hero. And sometimes that means clubbing a dumbass over the head because they try to be a hero in the worst possible moments. It's nuanced. I just want you to be able to keep a nice, healthy mind so that you can do the good work for as long as possible.
Thanks, honey.
Miss
Am I
Honey,
able to
I like you,
sense roll
even if
on
you
that
are a
last
puppy
line for
kicker.
her?
I only understood Katie's line there.
I was gonna say, could I do a sense roll on her last line there, just so she's actually looking out for our well-being because of the doppelganger thing? I was thinking
Go
about
for it. Go ahead and roll sense.
because she wouldn't actually look out. Oh no, for our well-being.
At a -2. Yeah, that's it. You don't that you get nothing.
Oh no, the sweat, the stare at Honey, just like the silent looking. Mm-hmm.
was almost expecting I don't know, seems kind of sus actually.
He locks eyes on you and is like, the thing that shot last night was a doppelganger, weren't it?
Yeah. Katie
Yeah.
got shot up by one.
Yeah, because you're currently looking at me like I'm about to pull a gun right on you.
To be
You
fair,
ain't subtle.
She looks away, but it's still like, oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. Honestly, easiest way to tell whether or not you're under the influence of the doppelganger. Firstly, doppelgangers only come out at night. The moment that twilight hits, they will begin taken the form of another person. A few hours into the night, they will finish taking the form, but as the longer the night goes, the stronger they become. In the moment just before dawn, they are at their absolute strongest, and as soon as day breaks, they start to lose their guise. They start revealing their true self. You never want to let a doppelganger get that far. You need to get rid of them before they end up becoming a threat to you. This has resulted in the loss of a couple hunters. It's true. But generally, you'll always be able to tell whether or not someone's a doppelganger by figuring out whether or not there's sun in the sky. On top of that, they will never make an attack while they are under the focus of scrutiny. They're way too fearful. They take on a mask of others because they cannot face to look at the world with their own eyes. They are that scared. So right now, I'm going to look you dead in the eyes, and I'm going to tell you, that sun's shining out there. Is there another way that you can test it? Yes. I don't think that you're willing to do that. In fact, I think that you'd be mighty pissed off if I did, in fact, test it proper in front of you right now.
Oh.
Be kind of funny.
She's gonna look at kind of Katie, but also like she's still apprehensive because just thinking about what happened to her. Katie, are you able to sense if she's got something wrong with her like last time?
I kind of like step closer and squint my eyes. I was like, I don't think so.
I don't think a doppelganger would go on that long of a tangent.
Well, actually, they would. They just copy the person, and I'm the sort to go on a tangent. So, like, not to throw myself under the bus here, they absolutely would say that.
Yeah, but when you're the center of scrutiny, as you've stated. Plus,
Well, that's true.
even if you were a doppelganger and you did try to kill us, we're in a room and there's 4 of us and 1 of you, and that didn't look good for that.
No, exactly. That's why I absolutely would not shoot you right now if I were a doppelganger. If I were a doppelganger, I would wait till everyone was asleep. But I'm telling you right now, if all 4 of you are asleep at once, y'all fucked up. You need watches. You need people keeping an eye out. You need 2 people awake at any given time in case one of them's a doppelganger. And also, to be clear, the other method that you can find, shoot them in the leg or something. If you look at the inside of the wound, usually the body still reflects some of that black stuff going through it through the veins. So as long as you're willing to cut open a little bit and spread open the tissues, look between the fibers, then yeah, just rip it open. You'll be able to read it real quick.
The friendship goo.
I'm not touching that. But yeah, reason I thought you'd be pissed off if I went and tested it is I don't think you want me shooting myself in the leg and then spreading open my thigh meat for you to take a good look at. You don't look like the sort who's going to be able to handle that too good. You look like you got a weak
No.
stomach, girl.
No, I don't. Sorry, I wouldn't want you to do that to yourself either.
I mean,
or any of us
Exactly.
do that.
To be fair, better you shooting yourself than one of us shooting you. Most of
100%. I know exactly where my femoral is.
Yeah, that no. So most of our weapons are like as big as a hand in caliber.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
You'd be
There wouldn't be much to look at after you put
Yeah.
that bullet in.
Exactly.
But yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. I'm sorry again, and I at least
Oh, don't be sorry.
Katie's
Be
looking
careful.
out too. Yeah.
You are entirely right to be suspicious. You don't have the information to go off of. But I'm telling you right now, as long as that sun is out, you know you ain't dealing with doppelgangers.
By the way, does this stupid place have that weird marking y'all were talking about? For the weird dream people?
Oh, the wards?
Yeah.
That does not.
I'm not sleeping here.
Well, we had to make them. It's just like out of sticks and stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to bring that up to her and she can provide some more info?
You know what? Yeah. So what's with the weird dream eaters?
Oh yeah, no. That's just what they do. They swoop in. They like to eat the memories. We call them tapers. Or tapirs. I don't know how Gameen Mama used to say it, but it's something like that.
How do you kill it?
Oh, you don't. They ain't physical.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, you can't kill everything. You want to try, that's for certain. But yeah. Last I heard, there's some legends in the lack about being able to kill one, about somebody who, put themselves in such a deep sleep that they were comatose for a week, and when they came out of the thing, they woke up and started vomiting the black tar all over the ground, and it spilled out of their ears and their eyes and their nose. And after a few more minutes of coughing and wheezing, he looked up and said he managed to kill one. But honestly, spending a week in a coma, you can kill so many Grim during that time that taking out one of them just don't seem, time effective.
Fair enough.
I don't know. The drill one I met was pretty nice. No goos needed. Only give him a little chomp on the brain space, and
that is a problem because it chomped on your brain space.
I don't got much brain space to chomp. I mean, I'm just glad he
All
found
the
anything
more
at all.
reason, to not let him do it. You gotta take better care of yourself.
Katie. You're quite smart.
What did you say?
Oh, I was gonna say that I don't think that you have anything lacking. I think you're quite smart.
Aw, thank you.
Please do
Followed
not.
by asynchronous blinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Pretty
Jackalope
much.
looks at Lynn. Please
Yeah.
do not encourage our goblin.
Scientifically.
Smartest goblin.
Yes,
Yeah.
but still a goblin.
I'm very
Goblin with a-
concerned.
Doctor's trench coat, yeah. But not a doctor. You just took it for somebody.
No, they
Yeah.
gave me this. They gave me this coat. This is mine.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I meant the analogy of a gremlin taking somebody's
Oh.
coat. But that's true. You did get yours because you got it.
I
To be
mean,
fair,
I
it
did
does have
steal
her
many
name.
coats, but
I mean, it has her
Yeah.
name stitched in it.
Is it?
I don't
Yeah,
know where
just-
that would be. It was, I
I'm
assume
just picturing it's on the inner collar, and it's just glittered and whatnot.
It's
I wrote it
bedazzled.
myself, actually.
Yeah. You went
Although,
against
would it-
regulations.
Although, actually, would it have the code thing?
Oh, the number?
Yeah.
That depends. Would your character have put the number on it?
Well, no, I mean, if they gave it to me, I could see them putting on the number, and then I wrote it on myself, but that's not part of it.
I think. Go ahead and roll me 1d6, and I'm going to make a determination off of that.
That's a solid 1.
Yeah, you show off the coat, and sure enough, go ahead and remind me, what number was it, Katie?
I'm trying to find that. Oh, I know it had. I want to say it was 953 or something, but I don't quite recall.
On the 9 to 5.
I found it at
3,
one
6,
point.
7, 9. Wait, fuck! What's the wrong fucking numbers?
Think if I.
5?
I look
Oh,
over
3, 6, 7,
there.
5, 309. There you go.
What was
No,
it?
8, 6, 7, 5.
8675309.
There it is.
Oh my god! I managed to find the detailed things on the white rabbits, but I can't.
Oh, you didn't have
find
a
it.
Google Doc, but you have it in there?
No, I didn't put that in there because spoilers.
It's your own document.
Yeah, you could have just kept your own copy.
And now you can't be spoiled because you didn't have it in there. You don't know
Yeah,
what it is anymore.
That's
Can't
such a
even
Katie move.
spoil it for herself there.
I
You
know.
can't,
Oh,
you can't
there we go.
spoil.
Okay, I found it. It's not a crying kissy face emoji,
Wow.
which,
How does that happen?
so it'll make. I'm gonna post it in the thing, and that'll make sense. Let's hope that it uses the right font.
Ryan
That's not too great of a font. But I think it still shows the crying kissy face.
Oh, that's that
Oh, right.
Pokemon's face. The one
I
that's
knew there was an
oh,
eye.
Gulpin.
yeah.
Oh, it totally does look like a dolphin. I'm never
Yeah.
gonna unsee that.
Yeah, so you are yes. Printed on the inside lapel as well as printed along the left bicep. There is SCP-939.
I'm a
SCP.
doctor.
That doesn't sound like your initials.
No, that would be pretty weird. Like, can you imagine
Yeah.
like 9 Katie? I don't have a middle name. 9
I mean,
39
the 3 could
Henders.
be. Yeah, the 3 could be the E in your name. I don't know what the 9 is.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. Well,
939 sounds like a designation more than a name.
oh yeah, it
Oh.
kind of does. I just thought that was my rating out of 10.
Why would you have 939 out of 10?
Because I'm awesome.
Is this self-rating?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't doubt that, honestly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, my job was to do research on the SCPs, kind of. Well, I just kind of wandered around places, and then occasionally they stuck me in rooms with other ones, with
Yeah,
very specific instructions. But
SCP is like SCP-number.
Yeah. You.
like at well, I wasn't ever allowed to go near 173 or ones, that sort of thing. I did have a really fun time with a really nice lizard, though. That was awesome.
Why does your lab coat say SCP and the numbers, and you were also watching them? What are SCPs again?
Well, SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. They're the abnormalities. No, there's the ones, the creatures that we contain and look after in order to preserve the safety of everybody else and also the creatures in themselves.
Is anyone else getting a really bad feeling about this?
If
I
I'm being
only have
honest,
good feelings.
what I'm getting the vibes of is are you sure that they weren't just letting you move around as part of those specific rules for containing that you were just talking about?
Well, I mean, that would be pretty weird. I mean, I never had my own room or anything. I mean, I did for a little while, but then they hurriedly took me out of it and said I could live on the premises. I was escorted around by a couple of people zoos in these like really like clunky looking outfits. And then they just kind of kept watching me for
And
several weeks.
those folks, did they have weapons?
Yeah.
So you were constantly being escorted by armed individuals around the area for a prolonged period of time after you were rapidly relocated to a facility where you were given a specific numerical designation.
So,
And
prison.
nobody
Yeah.
else was?
And yeah,
Well,
Katie,
I
you were
mean-
the only one who had a designation like that amongst the any of them.
I'll look down at the number. Oh, that makes a lot more sense, actually.
Are you in? She looks real hesitant. She's like, it's not a bad thing. I mean, you're Katie.
That's for 3 a.m. Katie to think about.
Anyhow. So, prisoner. Huh.
Well, that sounds weird.
I
I don't
mean-
like that.
White coat, walked around, has a number designation. Sounds like prison to me.
Well, I mean, like,
Yeah,
I
technically,
wasn't in a
Katie.
cellar. Oh,
Yeah, Katie, your knowledge of it is that they're never prisoners. They're contained anomalous entities. So
yeah.
even if you were an SCP, you wouldn't be a prisoner. You'd just be an anomaly or an entity.
Yeah. I'm no prisoner. I'm an anomaly. I'm an anomalous entity.
Is that better?
I don't know.
I mean,
feel
what are
any different? Do you feel okay?
Well, I mean, I still feel like me.
That's
I mean,
good.
I feel a little thirsty, but other than that, I'm pretty good.
hmm?
That's good. You don't have any shock of. Did you know that you were like an SCP?
No.
Oh.
They gave me a coat and a clipboard. I mean, I guess I could like ask people about it when I like get back. I don't know who I'd ask, or I don't know. They might give me some amnesty, amnet, anima, anima,
Anima.
No, that's not it.
Amnestics.
Amnestics? No, they might try.
Oh.
I mean, I don't actually know how well they work on me, but I guess I wouldn't, right?
Why would
Your
they
co-
do that?
Yeah, your college educated self would recognize that amnestic would have the same root as amnesia, something to delete memories.
Oh. Um.
Sometimes people get them when they learn things they're not supposed to know, or when they look at the things on certain documents to make you go crazy because it's classified information.
Do you want to not know anymore?
I always like not knowing things, but I also like knowing things. I like knowing some things. Other things are bad.
Do you think what you know now is bad?
That's for 3 a.m. Katie to think about.
Oh, well. I hope that you don't. Well, 'cause I mean, you're still Katie, even if you do know. And well, there's nothing wrong with you. I mean, you're very special.
I get that a lot.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That Honey does seem to reach into her pack. And remind me, was everyone able to eat the fruit? Or was somebody unable
I
to
believe
stomach it?
Lynn couldn't.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't think I did.
All right. Well, then you are very hungry.
Ooh.
And Honey pulls out another set of the fruit.
Oh.
But are we not supposed to eat here?
The only danger is when you eat after dark.
Fair enough.
Yep. And
Ooh, yay, blood fruit.
yep, just gotta chew right through that flesh. It don't feel good. It do not feel good when you're not used to it. But
Num 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 num.
she's gonna toss one to Lynn.
Oh.
You gotta
She
eat.
just holds it.
Num 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 num.
Right. She's just gonna turn around so they're not trying to watch her struggle over this.
Oh, Honey's looking down at the
Even though
ground.
it's not
She ain't gonna stare.
She plugs her nose. She's such a baby, and she's gonna try again.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an endurance, but add a bonus dice.
Let's do this.
Wow.
That bonus dice replaces your lowest roll.
Oh my goodness.
Bless you.
Bless you.
That is a bless you.
Bless you.
That is a 1 degree of success.
Woo!
You're able to bite through it, and it tastes exactly like blood. And the flesh of it is it is like trying to eat uncooked beef, just
Ugh.
ripping through a steak. It's tough to get through, but once you get through that fleshy outer rind, you reach the center. And rather than just feeling like the same meat, it's squishier, like biting into a globule of fat, and it pops and it spreads in your mouth, and the taste of iron is soaking through it, but you are able to stomach it. You are able to eat.
Oh, her stomach's like rolling, and she's like flinching with each bite, just like holding back, like wanting to throw up. Oh,
You finish it,
Through.
and you're no longer hungry. For 2 reasons, really.
Yeah, no wonder.
Okay. Now, Katie already does not have a strong sense of morality. Jack, I think that you'd probably eat just about anything as long as you knew that it was safe and would keep you alive.
Yeah.
And Hunter, you've eaten raw meat in the past. You don't
Oh,
like it, but it's doable.
It's not super pleasant, but he's done it. And he'll do it again.
Oh, it is not. All things considered, you're probably used to closer to the well done side of things, just to make sure there's never any parasites in the wild game that you hunt.
Hmm.
But yeah, everyone ends up eating. Honey just swallows the whole thing. It'll just rips right into it, eats it just way too easily and casually with the practiced ease of someone who thinks this is normal.
Yeesh.
All right. Now I heard that 2 of y'all got sleep.
Actually,
3 of y'all got sleep. Who didn't?
Jack raises his
Jack.
hand.
So you were the source of that weirdness last night.
Not exactly.
Ooh.
Damn, thought I almost got you there. Anyway, I need sleep and you need sleep. Unless you
Yeah.
plan on staying and marching for the next, however the hell long.
I've got drums.
I think you should rest, Jack. You've done a lot.
Sleep isn't great for me.
I can get that, but I will point out that your body's gonna need it eventually, and you never know when the next time you're gonna be able to sleep safe and sound is gonna be.
Right. And we wouldn't want to see, anyone get hurt just because, you know.
We'll make sure you don't die
Fine.
in the meantime.
Better not, or else I'm haunting your ass.
You can try.
Yeah. It's
Challenge accepted.
Katie and everyone who knows the designs, let's go make some of those markers.
Honey is gonna point to the center of the room and say, "That's where me and him are gonna sleep. Better not to be too close to the edges. You never know when something might try to get through the door or to get through the walls."
I'm gonna sleep with my gun in my hand.
You be a fool not to.
Gotcha.
She ends up pulling out her knife and the disgusting looking one covered in rust and some sort of thick ichor. And she just lays down, holding it close to her chest. Her body just completely up and down, ramrod straight, her hands folded over the knife, and just punks out pretty much immediately.
Impressive.
Jack's just gonna stand there for a second, pull out his gauntlet, and make sure his other arm is just loaded, and just attempt to figure out a position to sleep where he feels advantageous. And it's just like 10 minutes of him like shifting into different weird positions of sleep before just ending up almost on his head asleep, trying to sleep, and eventually conking out looking like a stinking frog.
It's like a cat spinning around in a circle for a while.
Yeah, it's particularly difficult for you to fall asleep, Jack, considering the fact that you're in the open portion in the middle of the room, not surrounded by any tight angles like you're used to.
Yeah, he is shifting constantly.
Time will pass, and I would like all 3 players to roll either sense or a sense equivalent in the case of Katie.
Yeah. That's Pistol Cuties, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Okay, so we got 2 degrees of success from Lynn. 1 degree of success from Katie because the bonus replaces the lowest.
Mhm.
Okay. Sensing or the area around you, what you're able to quickly determine is that Lynn, you're definitely not alone. You haven't been for a while, but it's particularly with you on edge from having to deal with that culinary experience. It's grating the fact that you can feel them around, that you can sense them around you. Some of them getting even close enough that they start scratching at the ground outside of the building. They seem a lot more brave now that they know that you're inside. Katie, you can similarly sense that there are some in the area around. Some of them move around in a way not dissimilar to a bear. Another one, kind of close to how a dog moves. One of them, you're not entirely sure. You just know that it's made of too many arms. But for the most part, it seems that they are staying away. Jack, you mentioned that sleep is not good for you. Does your character experience nightmares or night terrors?
Yes. Yes, he tends to. Keep in
Okay.
mind, he sleeps in a very specific way on purpose up to this point.
Okay.
He's never not
Then,
slept like that after getting out of the military.
okay. So then I'm going to say that the nightmares are pronounced and significant. You have trouble staying asleep, but it's even harder to wake up from them. And Katie, and Lynn, both of you can tell, you can sense the Grim in the area nearby are getting a bit restless. They're getting a bit more incensed. They can sense something nearby, and some of them are even starting to claw at the wooden logs that make up the walls.
Hmm.
By the way, there is one window. The door leading into this area is a south-facing door. The window is a west-facing window. It is on your right-hand side as you look at the door. Lynn, you rolled sense. There is a face staring into the window from what must be 20 meters. You're able to just make it out in between all of the leaves and the foliage. It is pale, is white and gaunt, and the stony mask-like substance that makes up the bones of a Grim are clearly what makes up this visage as it looks at you through the window, clearly trying to make eye contact.
Um, I won't, but I'll keep it in kind of a side view. I think there's one at the window, but I feel like it's trying to make eye contact. What should we do? Are Grim deterred at all by like good thoughts? Or just incentivized by only negative ones?
I think they're just incentivized by bad thoughts.
Oh, if
And they're
we
not scared off
ignore
by
it.
good ones?
I don't think they are, but I believe that if we just kind of ignore that it's there and shoot it if it gets too close, I think we should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Those ones are at the walls.
Shame though. It'd be a great staring contest.
You won't look at it, Katie?
Can I?
No. She shuts down.
Like she's the only one of us who would respond to.
Suddenly, there is a
I will-
sharp knocking at the door, heavy-handed, and it hits rhythmically. Knock, 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 knock.
I'll get it. I start to
No,
heal
don't
over.
open the door, Katie.
Aww.
Knock
just-
back to it.
Okay.
5 knocks, Katie.
Tap. 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 1, 2, 3. Tap.
It pauses. You can sense that it is currently waiting right outside of the door. And you can hear a heavy breathing start after you knocked.
Bark, 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 bark.
Let's knock at the door. What? No.
Oh, something.
Lynn, the face moves, dipping behind a tree and disappearing from your line of sight. Katie, you hear the knocking again.
Do I not? I look over at Hunter and Lynn expectantly. Do I do it? Do I knock back?
What do you?
Hunter,
Can you sense
Lynn,
what it's
you
feeling?
didn't hear a second set of knocks.
Uh-oh.
Raise my eyebrow.
I didn't hear any other knocks.
How many
Maybe
knocks
I
did
have
it
started
do?
to lose it.
Katie, you and you alone hear a third set of knocks. They're
well, let's do
faster
it
this
again.
time.
Well, he's faster. I think he wants me to answer it.
But if we
Uh.
open the door, it could be invited inside. And if you're only hearing it, where do you think it's gonna go? I don't know.
It'd be friendly.
I lower my gun towards the door. Yeah, that doesn't seem to happen in this place.
Katie, instead of knocking, you hear a voice this time, resonating through Abyssal Cuties.
Huh.
Come out and say hello.
Oh, I really wanna, Mr. Guy, but you kind of sound like you're gonna try and kill me.
Come out.
I say this aloud.
We'll leave the sleepers alone.
It sounds really nice, but it also sounds like you're gonna kidnap me or something.
Are you able to like feel their intent if they want to hurt you? Because
Is my
sometimes you
0
do have
cents?
friends.
Come out. Don't leave us alone.
Oh, look over. He sounds really sad.
Katie, no.
He concerns me a little bit.
Katie, do you feel if they have like any negative or positive feelings towards you? Or
Mr.
if they
Guy, do you like
want to
me?
eat you?
As
Do you
Katie
like
says
me?
that out loud, Lynn, you end up noticing the bone white face is now right outside of the window, inches away from the glass.
Mm.
Okay. Everyone, do not look at the glass. It's back again, but it's closer.
Hmm. Well, I want to look at it.
I don't know why.
I kind of like start to like turn my head towards it, and I
No.
it says, and I kind of like slap myself. It's like, no, bad Katie, no, you can do this. Test of wills.
Yeah.
Like
And good Katie, you're testing your wills. You're keeping strong. Good Katie.
Mm-hmm.
There's another 5 knocks. And then just the same word 5 times. Atone. 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 Atone.
For what? What did I do?
A moment later, the figure seems to step away from the door, moves right over to where the bone white figure is standing at the window, and rips its head off.
Jesus.
Excuse me?
Throws the broken body of the Grim to the ground and looks through the window, and all of you are able to recognize it's one of the old hunters.
Oh! Wait a second. Wait, the hunters, what do we have to do for them again?
Just state that we're human.
Say that I'm a humans and we're hunters?
Well, all of you roll all of you that are awake, roll 1d6
1d6.
Yep, a 5 or a 6
Ah,
works.
ah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Lynn and Hunter, you both remember. As soon as it appeared, Honey immediately took off her hat, held it to her chest, and gave a welcoming nod to it.
Hunter will do that.
What are we
She'll
doing? Who's that guy?
Does she
It's the
have a hat?
hunters.
Just happened? I have my headband.
Lynn says quickly to Kitty, "It's the hunters. Show respect.
How do I
Put
do
the head
that?
down. Put the
Mimic
head down."
me, and he'll do the same pose that Honey did.
Oh, it kind of takes her headband off and looks down at the floor.
And Lynn, I assume you have a hat.
I guess
chapeau.
so. That's a little. Yeah, it's a little. She does the same as Hunter, or she knows what to do. Yeah.
Hunter does not have a hat, but he will do the rest of the steps.
It reaches up to its head, grasps what seems to be like a hat, and carefully pulls it off. You can see sinewy-like constructs keeping it to its head, tearing and snapping as it pulls it down, holds it over its chest for a moment, nods back, puts the hat back on, and leaves.
It's
Katie,
on.
you can hear it muttering a tone again and again until it leaves the radius of your abyssal cuties.
Oh, it's a lore thing. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh,
The hunter
that's kinda
guy.
creepy.
The hunter guy was muttering like a tone to himself. I think it's like some sort of like self thing. I think maybe like he's telling himself to atone for stuff.
Oh,
It's like a thing.
I wonder what they have to atone for.
I don't know. Kicking
I mean,
puppies?
I think
Do you
they've
think they
done a.
kick puppies?
The Grimm are puppies, red guy.
When did that happen?
This has been a established thing since we met, okay, red guy?
Well, for you, I guess. I don't really see them as puppies. I have shot at least one of your Grim twice.
And it pains me every time I remember it.
Pains you.
Lene just shakes her head softly side to side.
Have respect for the almost dead but not quite red guy.
He shrugs.
Katie, the pain could be the same.
As you talk about all of that, Jack,
Mm-hmm.
describe to me a regular occurrence in your nightmare, and I will interrupt you when the correct moment is there.
So Jack's most concurrent nightmares is just the one that sits with him most is a consistent explosion and then sitting in front of a fire. It's always extremely disjointed and 5 different figures sitting disheveled in front of him. Their faces gone and gone. He can never make out their proper figures. It's typically quiet. There's explosions going off, but it only lights up the room once in a while. And he sits there in a crouched position every time. Blood dripping from his hands. The smell of burning skin. And these
There's-
5 figures constantly there.
There's a second smell that's just there, and it's not one that you're used to, not one that you've really have pretty much any experience with. They don't usually allow tobacco there. It bit of a giving that to the ground folks would be a bit of a waste of resources. But from your time outside of the military, you do vaguely recognize the scent of tobacco smoke. 6th figure is there, sitting next to you, smoking on a cigarette.
Jack's dead eyes would slowly turn to that figure. The hell are you?
Is this your dream or mine?
Smell of burning skin. We're in my head.
You got my condolences. He pulls the cigarette from his lips, spits down. You smoked one of these before?
Once, the one in the middle there handed me one. I coughed my ass off and told him never to hand me that shit again.
Yeah. Explains why it doesn't taste right. He extinguishes the cigarette on his wrist.
Oof.
Yeah, his head was the only thing we found of him.
You put them back together?
We tried to, but it's
Couldn't get all the king's horses, huh?
when an improvised IED goes off, sometimes pieces don't fit.
Where are you from? What do they call it? He kind of gestures to the area around him.
Jack kind of looks around. I believe this was China, mid-China, Hong Kong, forest. Fucked place. Rats as big as your arm. Eat people if you're unlucky, if you run into a pack. Most of this place was shelling. Who are you? Or what are you?
It's a good question. I think I'm a remnant. Funny, considering where we are.
Some people would consider this place home. I consider it hell. Something I'll never forget.
I meant where we went to sleep.
Oh,
The world of remnant, right?
I think so. I never
Yeah.
really cared to ask the name when I got sent here. Anywhere was better than home.
I get that. Same here.
So,
Anywhere. He raises his left hand, the one that he extinguished the cigarette on, and you can see rapidly a shimmering gold shape overtake it, almost like a capsule, before it disappears.
So are you like the side effect of recent events?
I went to sleep in the strav, they called it.
Oh,
Yeah. I haven't woken up yet, obviously. Or maybe I have.
where'd you go to sleep?
It was just underneath some trees. I looked up, saw some fruit hanging above my head, and thought, huh, good a place as any. Then I was here.
Weird. Most
Right.
people don't end up in other people's heads. Granted, this has been a consistent fuck up, I guess. So, how long you been asleep, you think?
What month is it out there?
What month is it?
We're gonna say that it's probably May.
May?
May. Wow. What? 964? It's well past the year 1100.
It's
Oof.
1100, buddy.
Oh. I've been asleep a long time then. Or I guess I'm not really asleep, am I?
more like comatose, dead. But if you're here, you're not dead. Not really.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Weird question.
Hmm.
You do odd jobs?
Yeah.
He pulls out a small letter. Don't know if you'll end up anywhere near there, but pass this along for me, huh? It knows where it needs to go.
Jack takes it with his bloody hands. Sorry for the blood.
Hey, it's all
It don't-
good.
It don't wash off.
Never does. He slowly stands up, the gold shimmering effect covering his hand again. You can see a heavy metal golden capsule wrapped around it before he walks over to what before the shelling must have been a really sturdy door, and what now is fragments of one. Grabs the damaged, busted old knob, throws it open. I think it's about time it's about time I forget this place.
What's your name?
He opens his mouth to respond, but you don't hear it. You're sure you know it. You'll recognize it if you hear it again. But whatever words left his mouth, they don't stick. As your eyes open. We're going to go ahead and restore your health by 10 points for taking a rest,
Sure.
which is actually going to take you up to health cap. You and Katie are now full healthed.
Oh,
look.
good job for you guys.
All right.
As you
That was
wake up,
cool.
it's a sharp awakening. You never awaken gentle. Not in a long, long time. But you do feel something in your hand that ain't your gun. There's a letter. Bloody fingerprints on it where you touched it. And some sort of print that you don't recognize in a language, a script that you haven't seen before. Whoever it's for, that must be their name. Or some sort of code.
Jack will give it a look over and then slide it into his pocket.
Cool. Honey is the next one to wake up. Only a few seconds later, she says, hers is a more gradual, careful awakening. She gives a big old yawn, stretches out, nearly slugging you in the process by accident, before she stands up, rolls her neck with a few satisfying cracks. Okay. Let's see. She pokes her head out the window to look. It's been a couple of hours, probably about 3. All things considered, you're surprisingly well rested. And there's still some daylight left to go. Well, if everyone's all ready, I am more than ready to go and try and tackle the Ring of Strav.
Dang.
Hunter stands up with a soft groan, just kind of stretching. Yep. Let's get this show on the road.
I was born ready. No, I was ready before I was born.
Somehow I don't doubt that.
Let's get going.
She stops at the door and knocks. 3 sets. 3 times she knocks. She waits for no response. Then she opens the door. And she leaves. I assume, of course, you all follow behind her.
Yep.
Yeah. Flippin' Katie's just gonna ramble about the events last night. There was a guy at the door, and he kept knocking, and he kept saying stuff to me, and he sounded really sad, and there were eyes, and Lene told me I couldn't do a
that
staring
makes sense.
contest.
Yeah, one of them
yeah.
old hunters. Yeah,
Well,
chances
there-
are, he was knocking on the door to get some safe haven. But
Oh,
you don't open the doors even for the old hunters. Never know
Aw.
when you might be dealing with the other kinds. So you greet them, and you send them on their way with a little bit of respect.
Wait, was it the old hunter or the thing that ripped the other guy's head off?
The old hunter ripped the monster's head off, the Grimm's head off.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, there was
that's
there
so
was there was
gnarly.
a monster. Yeah, there was a monster, and the hunter killed him, and then he started muttering like a tone to himself. It was super weird. I think it's a lore thing.
Makes sense. They're making up for lost time, making up for failures, making up for what they look like, the bone white and all that.
Oh,
Oh,
still felt like a Grim.
Don't care what it felt like. It's a human through and through. I know it in my heart to be true.
You could be both.
Nah. She claps you on the back. You can't be both.
I've been told I'm kind of both.
Then you've been told wrong.
Mm.
mm.
One of these days, I'm gonna prove to you that that you can be both.
Genuinely and honestly. You hear the knife in her other hand shift and clink once. I real hope you don't.
Okay, I guess I don't.
She wasn't gonna stab you. Honey, why did you knock 3 times before you had to leave?
Oh, so sometimes when you're going through a doorway or any kind of opening, any sort of arch or threshold, that's what my mama used to say. If you are moving from through a threshold from one place to another, she called them liminal zones. You need to make sure that they're not occupied before you go through. And sometimes they're occupied by the good, sometimes not so much. You knock and you listen, and if something knocks back, then either A, you're in a bad way, or B, you are already in such a bad way and you need so much help that you are willing to make a deal with the devil to get out. And you knock right back. I don't recommend doing it unless you're on your last rope, but if you knock and something knocks back, you can reply. But it's dangerous. I don't recommend it. I don't think you should do it.
Oh. Katie knocked back on the old hunter, but after that she didn't open the door.
If the old hunter knocked, you knocked back, and then he knocked in turn, sorry to say, he needed help.
Oh.
He was in a bad
Aww.
way.
Oh.
If you didn't respond, then he must just assume that he heard wrong, and he went about his work. And if he took out that Grim right at the side of that window, then I tell you, he did the good work, and he did it well.
Mhm.
Oh. I feel bad.
You did the right thing. Because just because something's knocking, just because something else needs help, doesn't mean that either A, you can help, or B, that you should help. Can't save everyone. That ain't how it works here.
I'm gonna save everyone in front of me, no exceptions.
That's how you
Definitely
end up
try.
dead.
Sounds to me like you got 2 hero complexes in here.
Ugh.
That ain't a bad thing,
Um,
but don't
um,
let it end you.
I'm gonna save the puppies.
She's gonna look forward, and immediately, her entire face goes pale. Does everyone look in the direction she's looking?
Yep.
Mhm.
No, I'm gonna sense first.
You can roll sense. You have super
Yeah.
senses, so you don't necessarily have
like,
to look to get it. So go ahead and roll sense.
She's too paranoid to like immediately be looking.
Oof.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
That's not good. Well, if you want to know what she's looking at, you gotta look.
Oh.
So do you look?
Look with us, Lynn. Become traumatized, Lynn.
I'm scared. I don't want to look. Wait,
The
wait. Okay,
blood.
sure. Shit, we're
You
all
do it.
into it now.
All five of you are looking straight at what appears to be a long, lanky figure. There's a clear mask across the front, like with all Grimm, but this one seems more like one of those old style theater masks, half of it smiling, half of it crying. Meanwhile, the entire body is covered in this checkered pattern, large balloon-like pants. And you can see as it continuously fiddles around with a large stick that burns white. It doesn't need to look at you for you to know that it sees you too, as you look across at a black and white clown-like figure in the distance. And that is where we're going to end the session for the night.
This
Oh
bitch
my
gonna
gosh.
die.
Sure. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get so hurt. Oh my gosh. A stick that burns white? What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, I
Its
should have taken
entire
the.
body is monochrome. It is black and white. There is no color on it. Even the fire is burning as if in a black and white film. So
Should have had Hunter rest. He's
you
still
could,
injured.
you could have rested there, 100%.
He's a paranoid bitch. Oh,
Oh,
well.
we had to keep watch. It was probably better for more people than less. I don't know.
You
Well,
guys
as
are
long as Lynn
injured.
as long as you had 2 awake, you'd still be following the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And Hunter's still at 14 health.
Yeah, Hunter
you
Hunter
probably
gets
need
kind of
to
concerned
rest.
about Katie being one of the awake folks.
That's
Mm.
I
fair.
mean, I'd be awake as well. Me and her could be awake if we wanted.
Yeah,
I think he was
trusts
worried about what
Lynn.
Katie would do.
He just, yeah, he's very concerned about what Katie might do in any circumstance.
I mean, Lene's also here for babysitting. It's good.
Well, next time you're going to get to interact with what Honey referred to as one of the more dangerous entities within the Southern Vales. Not the most, but one of the more dangerous, and the one that inspired the clown account.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Fascinating. All
Look
right,
forward
well,
to
hopefully
next time!
on Jumpchain.
Oh.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, as always, feel free to hit that follow button. Feel free to check our various socials down below or throughout this link right here, including our Discord. We're always happy to have you guys join our Discord and chat with us. We got a new kind of flood of folks inside the Discord, and it's always a fabulous time to see all of you fine folks. So if you guys are interested in that content or our various different content, we do other TTRPGs on Friday as well. That is a D&D campaign that I run. We also do various different actual like proper gaming stuff on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I think I said that correctly. Yes, I probably said that correctly, but if you guys want to know our full schedule, it's also on our Discord, and we are doing a Halloweeny month for, obviously, October, the Halloweeny month. So tomorrow, we're going to be playing some Dead by Daylight with me, Jackalope, my friend Wazzy, my friend Cross, and... Oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Every time I forget who's the 5th one, I feel awful. Oh, and Rogue. I'm so sorry, Rogue. I feel
that's
so bad
embarrassing.
every time. It's always the last person. It's
Oh,
it's
man.
always
You
the
gotta make a
last person I
nickname.
forget.
You gotta make like a nickname for that intro then, like Rogue the Moog. He's the
Rogue the
last one
Bogue.
coming
It's
in.
always the 5th person, or it's always the person at the end of the list that I forget for some reason. I don't know why. No matter how long the list is, it could be 3, it could be 6. It's always the last one. But if you guys want to
Sad
see us do
face.
some fabulous, fantastic times with Wazzy, with Cross, with Jackalope here, and with Rogue, we're gonna be playing some Dead by Daylight, doing some custom maps instead of some of the more spooky times. But hopefully we'll be doing some other spookies throughout the month as well. So we'll see you guys next time, and hopefully you guys enjoy our content. Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Bye.
Arrivederci.